is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines. If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
With the 42nd pick in the 2021 NFL.
When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Hey, alrighty. Happy July 4th. A abbreviated edition today of the show. I will not be doing 3 hours or 4 hours or any kind of craziness like that. And I know I didn't do a regular morning show. Man, and last night was a long night at the Revolution Live. God damn it, man. Holy shit. Anyway, so we had a great time. The struts were absolutely awesome. But man, I sweated like a whore in church. Holy shit. That was a trip. First of all, please give me a thumbs up here on the sound. Because I'm flying solo. My man Sean is enjoying the family. I'm the nutbag that's just doing a show here on July 4th for you all. But I just want to make sure, please give me the heads up here that the sound is good before I do. Okay. All right. So, by the way, last night, the struts were awesome. Revolution Live, you're a joke. You're an absolute joke. I mean, they didn't have the AC on yesterday. It was like that place is a hot box, dude. You know, it's perfect for stoners to just let it all out and then just, smoke it all back in. Perfect place for it. Not the kind of place that you don't have the AC working. And apparently they didn't turn it on Saturday. And apparently it's not really broken or something. I don't know. Should I call Mike at M&S Air Conditioning? Maybe I should tell Mike at M&S Air Conditioning, give the people at the Revolution Live. I mean, that was pretty disgusting, dude, what they did yesterday. That was as bogus, as minor league as it gets on behalf of the Revolution Live. So just a warning now. You may not want to go to concerts at the Revolution Live. That may be a problem now. The Revolution Live doesn't even provide air conditioning, and they don't have ventilation in that building at all. And it's South Florida in July. Like, what the hell was that last night, dude? Brother, I showered to, like you get up in the morning and shower, right? Then you're going out at night to go to a concert. I showered again, blow dried my hair. Brother, I walk into that place and it's shower number 3. I get home and shower number 4. It's like, it was ridiculous yesterday. I mean, just insulting what they did to everybody yesterday. Luckily, the struts were just absolutely awesome. But seriously, I don't know if this ever gets back to anybody at Revolution Live. I don't even know if they give a shit, to be quite honest. But that was as minor league as it gets. And I've got tickets for Clutch there next month, and I'm thinking of not even going to that concert. You know what I'm thinking of now? I told my wife this. The next time the struts are coming, I mean, if they go to the Culture Room, that's fine, because the Culture Room never does anything bullshit like that. The Culture Room's AC is always working. You can be packed, and the place is always ventilated. Fantastic. The Culture Room does it right. But what Revolution Live did last night was pretty disgusting, dude. Pretty unprofessional, to be quite honest. And My suggestion now to everybody out there is if you're going to a concert at Revolution Live, be careful. Find out if they're actually going to have AC. It reminds me of being at Churchill's back in the 80s. But that was the 80s. And by the way, Churchill's had a whole bunch of windows at least. But that place was a sweatbox. But you kind of knew it was a sweatbox from the get-go because you knew what it was. Not that it's like that anymore. Now it's, they got AC galore in there, so you're fine. But back in the 80s, boy, but you expected it because you were going there knowing that they didn't have AC. I mean, that was just terrible, dude. Terrible. But the concert was excellent. Their energy was second to none. They even said this was the hottest concert they've ever played in. Because, of course, I can't imagine how hot they were on stage with all those lights. Because you're normally hot as hell on stage. But when you talk about a venue that doesn't have any AC, wow, that was pathetic. I got to say, that was absolutely pathetic. By the way, hold on one second here. Give me 15 seconds here. There. Okay. All right. It's weird. Only half of it came out. All right. Anyway, Felipe, hey, you got your hat. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm glad you got your hat, bro. In fact, somebody else sent me a picture. My Limoncelli buddy sent me a picture. He ended up getting the hat also, and he sent me a picture. He bought it. So I'm glad, Felipe, you got the hat, bro, because I bought the last one. I had no idea that they were running out of those hats. Now, they said they're going to order some that look like it, the Black Dolphins hat. I don't know if I have it here. I'm not sure if I have it here. I don't think so. I think I have it downstairs. So I don't have it here. Today I felt like wearing the Marlins. They came back yesterday. Remember, they're playing lesser teams now in the St. Louis Cardinals. They're winning 3-0 again, right? The last time I checked, Marlins were winning 3-0. So they're, I think it's 3-0. It might be more now. Who knows? Let's see. Or maybe St. Louis came back. 4-0. Bottom of the fourth right now for the Marlins. Cooper with a home run. He had his 11th solo shot off Wainwright. Adam Wainwright, is he about 105 years old now at this point? And then Sanchez hit his 8th in the first inning, a 3-run shot off of Wainwright. So 4-0 Marlins. Jesus Luzardo, baby. 4 innings, 3 hits, 6 Ks, 3.39 ERA. One of the best. By the way, the Marlins have one of the best pitching staffs in the National League. I mean, there's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. And wait till Sandy actually figures it out and gets going, because he'll figure it out. He's got to get back to, being himself. I sweated like Joe Cronin trying to pretend to be a GM. Amen to that. Amen to that. So let's get into a little nothing so far in the Lillard talk, and it's just a bunch of hot air, and eventually they'll get the third team or fourth team involved, and they'll get them the amount of picks that they want and all that kind of stuff. And I know the whole Ben Simmons thing, and they're trying to unload them, and it'll all work out. This is all a bunch of crap. Look, Joe Cronin and Portland have to handle this the right way. One of the things I posted last night was a little off, but years ago, Zoe had a kidney ailment, and they signed him to a deal that towards the end of that deal, he made like $50 million, barely played only a few games, like 40 games in 2 years or something, and then left to the Nets and kind of screwed the Heat because, in a way, the Heat were now going into a rebuild, and Zoe, well, he just had the kidney, ailment, and then had it replaced and decided, I'm not going to stay here. I'm going to go. The Heat could have gotten pissed about that. I said yesterday they traded him. They didn't trade him. He then went there, and they didn't agree to a new contract because he was really wanting to go to the Nets, and he wanted a chance at a title, which It was understandable. And the Heat were like, hey, man, we can't agree to a deal. That's fine. You got to go. Basically, he didn't give the Heat anything the last couple of years because of all the health situations. So you kind of figure maybe he owes the Heat. And in fact, he said, screw that. I got to go get a title now, which, and that's fine. And then karma, he ends up coming back to help Miami win in 2006. And defensively, he was the most important center in that series. It wasn't Shaq, not even close. It was Zoe that was making all the key defensive plays in that game, in that series. Ray Bork gave a Hall of Fame career to Boston. They couldn't build a champion, so they shipped him to the Avalanche, and the Avalanche ended up beating our Panthers in 96 for the title with Ray Bork. You know what I'm saying? So these are the things that you got to just handle the right way at this point. The Heat wanted Zoe to stay, to be part of the rebuild, and he was the face of the franchise. And the face of the franchise told the team, no, screw you. I don't know how much time I have left. I have to go to the Nets now to try to win a title. And it didn't work out. And then he went to Toronto, and it was a mess. But in the end, the Heat didn't. They wished him well. They handled it with class. And that's what you got to do, because Zoe did give you everything he could. But at that moment with the health issues, you can't blame him for trying to go to to the Nets, because they thought they had some kind of a team there. You know what I'm saying? So that's fine. It sucks. But karma has it that he ends up coming back and helping you out. You know what I'm saying? So if the Blazers want some good karma, and I'm a strong believer of good karma, I believe if you give a lot, you will get in return. I believe if you're a bad person, well, you're going to end up getting, that in return more often than not. And so to me, I think if you're in this position, learn to be a professional organization. Your star gave you everything he could possibly give you. You have not lived up to your part of the bargain. You were supposed to try to show him to build a championship team. Signing Jeremy Grant to a giant ass contract and drafting another guard does not help him. Does not put him in that position. So you can't build a champion around him. So now what you need to do is accommodate him. You can't send him to a shitty team. You can't send him to somewhere he doesn't want to go. Why? Because now you'll never get another star again. Portland is Utah. It's Detroit. It's the Charlotte Hornets. It's the Orlando Magic. Free agents don't go there. They don't want to go there. You're not a free agent destination, Portland. Now, if you want to make yourself a free agent destination, or if at least you want to make yourself professionally attractive, well, then you better treat one of your three best stars in your history the right way. Clyde Drexler, Bill Walton, and Damian Lillard. I don't know how Portland fans rank them. Okay, I don't really give a shit how they rank them. All I know is that's one of your three most important players in the history of your team. The guy gave you everything. Now, if you treat him like shit, you'll never get another free agent again. Not that you ever really get that many free agents as it is. So if that's what you want to be, then you go ahead and be minor league. But in the end, I don't care what anybody tells me. Damian Lillard will end up in the Miami Heat uniform because that's what he wants. And because they owe him $216 million. So no one's going to trade for a disgruntled $216 million player that's going to take you over one or two aprons, which that 216 is going to become $300 million. So what team is going to acquire Damian Lillard when he says, I don't want to play for you? So if you want to pay all this money, you go ahead, but I don't want to play for you. I want to play for Miami. So it's time for Damian Lillard to be a dick. And sometimes in life, you've got to be a dick. You have no choice. Okay? It's happened to me many times, and I have no problem doing it. Sometimes you just got to tell the person, what's up? This is how it's going to go, whether you like it or not. And for Joe Cronin, whether he likes it or not, what he has to do is be a professional general manager. Okay? I think Ira is the one that said it, right? Or was it Ira? Was it somebody? Yeah, no, I think it was Ira. But, Andy Ellisberg has done this a whole bunch of times, right? You look at the guy in Philadelphia, who's Amore, who's a wild-ass trader, done a bunch of it. Joe Cronin's a minor leaguer, okay? Joe Cronin needs to learn and grow up now and say, okay, I've got to accommodate my start in Miami so I look good, but in order for me to do that, let me now be creative and find the third and fourth team, because it's probably Andy Ellisberg right now trying to find the third and fourth teams for him. Instead of his lazy ass trying to find the third or fourth team, instead of being so close-minded, saying, no, you're not going to Miami. I'm going to send somewhere else where I could get the best. No, you idiot. You send them to Miami, but you find the third or fourth team so you could get. So Miami sends other players to them, and the compensation goes to you. So if you send Tyler to the Nets, they send you the 2 first-rounders. And if you send some other young guy to somebody else, then they send you, and you get a whole bunch of picks. And Miami sends you their 2 first-rounders. And all of a sudden, you've got your 700 first-rounders. If that's what you want, then go ahead, dude. But that's what Joe Cronin has to do now. He has to step up. He has to put on his big boy pants. He has to learn how to be creative as a general manager and figure out a way to accommodate the star that gave him everything, but at the same time help his team win. Not force the square peg in the round hole where you send him somewhere he doesn't want to be just because you get your compensation, you screw the player over, you ruin your reputation, and you're not going anywhere anyways. By the way, you couldn't build a winner with Damian Lillard. You think you're going to build a champion without him? No. So since you're not, do the right thing here. That way, maybe the next time a star contemplates it, thinks about Portland, they say, you know what? Joe Cronin handled that situation the right way. So for me, this is all a joke. Eventually, this will end up in Miami because that's what that player wants. And in the NBA, the player controls his destiny, especially when they have the leverage. Damian Lillard has all the leverage, nearly $300 million of leverage. They tell you 216, but with the tax apron, okay, that shit's going to climb to $300 million. That's a lot of money to trade for a disgruntled player. That's a lot of money for a general manager or a fan base to hear, I don't want to play for you. I don't think any fan base wants to trade for Damian Lillard and hear him say, I don't want to play for you. And I don't think any GM with half a brain, with a quarter of a brain, is going to want to trade for Damian Lillard when he's telling him, I don't want to play for you. So you're going to acquire a $300 million headache. If that's what you want to do, you go ahead. But I told you that I don't want to play for you. That's it. And it's over. So Damian Lillard will end up here one way or another. It's up to Joe Cronin to become a true professional and figure it out. What Damian Lillard can't do is be soft here. He's been soft long enough. He waited too long to get out of Portland. Okay, but now that you're getting out, get out on your own terms now. Why? Because you just see it. Joe Cronin's trying to be a dick. What did I just say? Time to be a dick. And, Damian can be the bigger dick here because he's the one that is swinging it with $300 million. So he's got all the leverage. Joe Cronin has zero leverage here. What he has to have is intelligence. Be creative. Find a way to maximize this for himself. Any chance Zoe knew there were more problems to come and save Miami from bad money that New Jersey got stuck with? No, I don't think so. I think, that Jason Kidd stuff and all that team kind of had enough pieces that there was a buzz that they could challenge. So it was an attempt at trying to get a title, and it didn't work out for him. It was a bad experience for him, both that and Toronto. It didn't work out for him. It sucked, unfortunately. But hey, bro, karma is a beautiful thing. He comes back and wins it in 2006. I mean, you can't beat that. Miami hasn't processed the Depot deal yet. They might need to be roped in somehow to accommodate Nurkic. We'll see. We'll see what happens one way or another. It happens. I don't know what the machinations of it is. I don't know what the third or fourth team is going to be. I don't know if you got to take Nurkic or not. I don't know. You don't. I don't. None of us really know. All I know is through all this posturing and all this BS, Damian Lillard will end up in Miami. That's all I know. He's not going anywhere else. He's coming to Miami. Guaranteed. That I can tell you. And by the way, happy 4th of July to everybody out there. Okay. Thank you all out there. Adam is in. Giovanni, I see. PDB 2K15. GP Trap. He says, who needs Sean? Smiling. Nikki Davis is in. Says the Cincinnati Reds and the Marlins are winning despite terrible owners. Well, Bruce Sherman has not been labeled yet a terrible owner yet. That's not fair yet. Okay? All right. Your Reds, yeah, because they've been at it for a while, right? I think those owners have been in place. Bruce Sherman did make, some moves this offseason. And the Arraez move, and by the way, Kim Ng is doing some pretty good stuff. And Yuri Perez. Now, let's see what happens up here in the trading deadline. These are the tests that we need with Sherman. And then let's see in the next year or two, are you re-signing your young guys that you've developed? I can't label Bruce Sherman a bad owner yet. Okay? He hasn't shown me the money. That he hasn't shown me. I agree with you there. But I can't label him a bad owner yet. Okay? That's not fair to him because this was a rebuild. You did reload. You are now showing some of the signs of the reloading and the arms you have. I just said they have one of the best rotations in the majors. So what do you do with this now? Do you stay cheap? Do you lose people as they get older and you don't re-sign them? Arraez, are you going to sign him to a long-term deal? What are you going to do with Jazz? All these kind of things. I want to see what he does with that before I say Bruce Sherman is a bad owner. Okay? He's not a good owner yet. He hasn't proven that, that's for sure. But I'm not ready yet to say officially he's bad because he hasn't been put in a position to spend yet. Like right now. Like by the end of this month that you're challenging, you're in the mix. What do you do? Do you go out and spend a little more money? Do you go out and get an extra bat, which is probably what you may need? I want to see that kind of thing. The tests are now coming up for Bruce Sherman to find out if he really is major leagues or is he a minor leaguer. So I want to be fair to the guy, at least in that sense. Okay. You've parted ways with Jeter. You didn't want to go the way he went about it or whatever. Now your team is winning. Okay. Now you're in year 4, I believe, right? Of this, right? Or 5. So you're winning. Okay. So now what are you going to do? You're not going to take any more steps back, right? You're not going to sell off players, right? Because then you'll prove you're a bad owner. You've got players developing now. What do you do to him? Do you re-sign them? Do you start to develop a core? Let's see what Bruce Sherman does now. Okay, Kim Ng looks like she's making some decent decisions right now. She's doing all right. So let's, I'm gonna give Bruce Sherman the benefit of the doubt for the moment, and let's see what he does in the next month here. Let's see what he does over the next year or two. And he has a chance to maybe prove that he can be a really good owner, that he really wants to win, that he's dedicated, that he wants to build a core. Let's see. Gus 1388. I see Jonathan Jensen, Mike No Go Zones. Sharon Calderon wishing everybody a happy 4th of July from Jeff in Long Island. Smash the like button. Yes, please. Happy 4th. Smash the like button. Steven says, good afternoon, Owen Sean. I know I'm wrong, but the longer this drags on, the more I think Dame is not going to have a choice but to get traded somewhere else. No. You're wrong. The more this goes on, the more he's locked into Miami because options dry out everywhere else. Leon Fresco, thank you for the love on the super chat. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo. We get 100% of the donations there at Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's our handle, Cash Big O Show. Does the MLS regret Apple TV deal? Need more exposure? Leon, you're jumping. You're putting the cart ahead of the horse. Has Messi played yet? Okay. It's just, the deal just started, bro. You got to wait 2 or 3 years down the line for something like this. Because the Messi deal may lead to other deals and you may bring some other international players over the next couple of years, and then you start to build up your subscriptions and all of that. It doesn't happen overnight, Leon. That's they just signed that deal. It's a brand new deal last offseason. So it's not like it's, this is new. And Messi hasn't even taken the pitch yet. The second he takes the pitch, do you know how the views are going to go? They're going to go through the roof. So there's nothing to celebrate, and there's certainly nothing to be depressed about at the moment. But thank you for the super chat. The MLS shouldn't be outspending him. They shouldn't. They shouldn't try to improve their league and bring eyes from all over the world to it. Yeah, no, I guess not. In Kim Eng we trust. She's done a good job, dude. Where's the barbecue? Well, I may buy some, but I'm not cooking any. Dude, it's freaking, all I hear is thunder outside. Big O, were you able to catch yesterday's Heat game? Yes, I did last night. I watched it at 2 a.m. and about 1:30 actually. I finished about 2:30 by the time I was doing everything. Yeah, Jaime looked fantastic. Crafty, like I told you. I really like him. He shot 3 of 7 from three-point range. Jovic looks filled up, right? And looks like, he has, obviously he was more sturdy too. You could tell in that game, especially inside, grabbing rebounds, 21 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Orlando Robinson looked good. The Aldridge kid, the guard, he shot 4 of 7 from three-point range, 6 of 9 overall, ended up with 18 points in 20 minutes. So that team, that was fun. I love Summer League. I've told you guys this over and over again. Last year, I went to the Vegas Summer League with Sean. We're not going this year because budget-wise, we're going to use our money to go cover Zach Thomas's induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, which I think it's a little bit more important. And so we're going to do that and have some fun with that. But yeah, man, it was fun. It was fun to watch, and that's the one thing about this trade, that you're going to lose a young guy that you're not going to. I don't mind sending Tyler Hero somewhere. I don't. I'm not the biggest guy that's in love with Tyler Hero and all that. I don't like the fact that he breaks down all the time. I think he's kind of soft, to be quite honest. He's fragile. And he's had way too many injuries in a short career for my liking. And he has missed the most important stretches of basketball the last 2 years, and the Heat haven't missed his ass at all. Okay? At all. He can be replaced. But you can't, you just don't find Damian Lillards. They don't have a number one on this team. That's a number one. So to me, the only thing I'm not going to like about this whole thing is that they're going to lose one of these young guys that I kind of like, but you got to give something to get some, man. Unfortunately, you got to give Glenn Rice if you want to get Alonzo. You got to give Caron Butler if you want to get Shaq. And, well, maybe it'll be you got to give up Jovic or Jaime. but I'm not gonna like seeing one of those two young guys go. I'll be completely honest. I like those young guys. I think they can develop those guys into maybe something, you know, and especially Jaime. I really like his creativity because I think guys like him and Caleb with Jimmy. Wow, I just like the savviness, the basketball IQ of Caleb, of Jaime. You know what I mean? And Jovic apparently is also a really high IQ guy because he's an excellent passer too. So it's just there's a lot to like in some of these young guys that the Heat have, and we've been trained to know that these people can find players. Man, they have done. Remember, the draft was kind of like an afterthought for Riley early on in his tenure here. You know, yeah, he had a Wade and Butler, but he didn't really take the draft as serious. Remember. And especially when he was coaching young guys, you know, but after, as Spo has taken over, the youth movement thing seems to be a little bit more of a focus. And God, over the last few years, they have done an exceptional job of finding people off the street and guys that are undrafted. And to me, you know, I love Orlando Robinson's energy, constant energy that he has. He played well yesterday, and I was really looking forward to watching Jaime play, man. So that was really cool. That was really cool. I like it. Let's see what else. I just want Sharkgate to be over and Tyreek Hill cleared. Well, that, my friend, it's in the courts now, and we'll see if there's going to be sues or whatever. And I don't know, bro. This is a mess. I don't think the thing about the Tyreek thing is, as I told somebody on Twitter yesterday, I don't think it's something that is a big thing, but I think it will affect him for a game or something. I think I could see him getting suspended for a game. I don't even know if it'll be this season. It's certainly, you know, some guy goes, oh, with our luck, it'll be postseason. It won't be postseason. It'll be a regular game suspension, either this year or next year or something. But that, because of his history, I could see this costing him one game. Now, I don't know if it's this season. I don't know if it's next season. I'm not exactly sure, dude. You know what I'm saying? That part I don't know. So, you know, but we'll see. We'll see. But I don't think it's that big a deal. They'll overcome whatever it is, and whatever, you know, he misses, if he misses anything. Neon says, my point is that, like Messi, but I am done paying for all these 50 streaming services. I'm going to miss his games because I am not adding any more channels. Well, that's fine, Leon. Did you watch the MLS anyways? I'm wondering, were you an MLS guy in the first place? Were you watching Inter Miami? You know, I don't know. If you were, then yeah, I guess it's a loss for you. But if you weren't watching and you were just going to watch for Messi, you're not really a fan. You're just a bandwagon. That's all. I watch Inter Miami, Miami FC, the Fusion. Doesn't matter to me. So those of you that are just going to watch because Messi came, doesn't really make you a fan. You're just a bandwagon that wants to see Messi. So if that's the case, Leon, I don't really have a lot of sympathy for you, to be quite honest. Okay? I have sympathy for you if you're an Inter Miami fan like I am, and you watch no matter what, and you can't afford to add that, then that sucks. Now, there I feel bad for you if you don't want to add it. But if you're not really a fan and you're just intrigued by Messi, you're nothing but a bandwagon, dude. So adding the extra service doesn't mean shit. You know what I mean? It's not really a burden for you because you're really not a fan. You're just intrigued by Messi. And that's going to happen with some people. But it doesn't really make you a fan. Okay? Fans are no matter what you're watching. Not because of Messi. Greetings from Lehigh. I'm tired of Dame. I'm good with Triple J if he can hit the threes, line that. Yeah, no, not going to happen. We need Dame. And it's not Dame's fault. None of this is Dame's fault. It's the Portland Trail Blazers who have been incompetent from day one, and they can't get it done around him. So they are their own problems. Yes, I am a DC United fan. Oh, well, then you should watch it then. You should buy your MLS ticket and don't buy something else then. Because I'm an Inter Miami fan and I bought my MLS ticket. Now I'm also an Apple subscriber, so I got $20 off too. So if you're an Apple subscriber, by the way, the season now is half price. You have no excuses not to sign up now, actually. You know that, right? The second half of the season is half price. They even lowered it. So the good part, the messy part, you get to pay for it for a lot less. I don't know if you know that, but they discounted the second half of the season. Let's see. This has made Tyreek quite humble, and he needs that. Well, he's quiet, isn't he? Doesn't say a damn thing about it. And that's the bad part about it. The problem now with moving Lowry is there's no point guards left to bring in, and Jimmy might insist on keeping him. Jimmy can insist on whatever, bro, but there's salaries, and they'll have to move him. So if they can move him, at this point, Jimmy can't complain about shit because Kyle Lowry doesn't mean anything to this team. He's nothing but a mercenary that is collecting a check and can't produce the money that he's being paid. So however you can dump Kyle Lowry, who gives a shit what Jimmy thinks? If you get Damian Lillard, that's what Jimmy needs. That's what's going to help him win a title. Jimmy screwed himself by bringing Kyle Lowry here. And if he doesn't see that, I can't help him. I always really try to get into soccer and kids into watching soccer and put games on, but I'm not knowledgeable on what's going on yet. That's all right, bro. It's all good. You know how it is. We like some things and we don't like some other things. And, you know, it's hard to be. Soccer is one of those sports that you, like anything else, like any other sport, you have to understand it and then appreciate it. Instead of, you know, in football, you want a bunch of points scored, and in basketball, you want to score 120 points and all that kind of stuff. In soccer, goals are precious. And that's where, as Americans, we have to be reprogrammed because we're thinking of the long ball and home runs and you know, we like a lot of scoring and all that. And where in soccer, the scoring is few and far between. So it's hard for us as Americans to adjust our thinking and our patience and our appreciation. So when you do get a goal, that's why they go nuts, because it's not an easy thing to do, because you're doing it all with your feet, basically, or your head. You know what I'm saying? So it's not an easy sport. It's not an easy craft. It takes, you know, incredible talent. And that's why, and so that happens to us as Americans, that we have a problem adjusting. You know, there's a lot of Americans that hate the 1-0, 2-1 baseball game. Those are my favorite games. I don't like the 8-10 baseball game. Bunch of pitching changes, bunch of bad pitchers, errors, a whole bunch of people getting walked, games stretching out for 4 hours. I hate that shit, but Americans love it because we love scoring. That's our thing. We don't want to see the 80 to 85 basketball game. No. We want to see 120 to 132. And because that's how we're programmed, it's hard for us to completely adjust to learn that in this sport, everything's opposite. It's a lot harder to score goals than touchdowns. It's a lot harder to score goals than hit home runs. It's a lot harder to score goals than hit 100 points in a basketball game. And we don't adjust to that, just like we don't adjust on average to a 1-0, 2-1 baseball game. You know, I think the purists like myself actually love those are the real baseball games, the 1-0, the 2-1s. In my eyes, subjective. It's the way I look at it. But for me, those are the real games. Why? Every pitch counts. Every walk counts. Everything matters. Every little mistake you make can change the entire complexion of the game because it's 0-0, 1-0, 2-1. To me, those are the ones you're living on the edge of your seat. That's baseball at its finest. And yet, I would say the average American nowadays can't stand the 1-0, 2-1 baseball game. They want 10-7, whole bunch of home runs and all kinds of stuff and dog and pony show. So that's the thing about soccer. There's a mental adjustment for us as Americans that is hard for us to make, that it's completely opposite of what we're used to. It's not explosive scoring. It's not as easy. It's hard as hell. And it's precious. And that's why it is embraced so much around the world. Because when it happens, it's glorious. So it's just a matter of attitude and adjustment. And then you'll appreciate. The easiest way out of Lowry's 30 million is letting it expire. Probably. Or trading deadline. If you could pick up like a disgruntled player from somebody else that maybe has a year left, not just the next year, but another year after that, you're stuck with him another year, but he's a pretty good player. They're dying to get rid of him, but they get the expiring deal. That may help you, and it may help you for the following year for another run. So it could expire. You could be right, but I think the trading deadline could also be an option for Lowry. Expiring deals are sexy for everybody. They love expiring deals. At least younger kids are liking soccer more these days. Yes. The Beavis and Butthead mentality, scoring is king. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Don't want to give up the farm for one player. Prefer keeping the Heat's younger players. The Heat has to give up a lot of younger players that are developing well in this culture. Yes, Rosendo, but it's about winning a championship. Okay, how many times are you going to be the bridesmaid? Look at the 4 years. The young guys aren't getting you over the top. You need a star to get you over the top. Stars win, Rosendo. Okay? Check out the history. You won in 06. How many stars did you have? 2. And Zoe technically is a star, but I get it with the kidney ailment, whatever, but he played like a star in that series. But you had 2 with Shaq and Wade, right? Okay. Then when you won the other 2, what'd you have? You had LeBron, you had Bosh, and you had Wade. And by the way, Ray Allen's a Hall of Famer and a star, but in that moment, he was a great complimentary player, but a future Hall of Famer. Like, no doubt Hall of Famer, right? So now, those are 4 Hall of Famers. And what do you have now? You have one guy that goes to the Hall of Fame. You have one guy that's a star. There are no other stars on the team. So it's really simple. It's hard to win with, the Giannis thing. It's really hard. It can happen once in a while. You'll get there. Allen Iverson. I don't know if Dikembe was a star anymore at that point. He was already old. But Allen at least got there, didn't win it. It's hard, but you need those 2 stars at least. 3 would be better. So the young guys are great, but if they're not stars, you're not winning. You're not winning. I think the younger kids always like soccer. The trouble is keeping them interested. No. You're thinking 20, 30 years ago. No. Kids are different nowadays. No. You don't deal with kids nowadays. Clearly, you're not dealing with teenagers and 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds. They love soccer. They watch the Premiership. They watch La Liga. They're watching the Bundesliga. No. I'm 56. This isn't like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, that young kids were playing soccer and then they grew out of it like we all did and all that shit. No, dude. No. You're completely out of tune. Game over. Completely out of tune. Today's kids, teens, 20s, and even the early 30s, and I'm calling them kids, they love international soccer. I mean, love it, bro. They go to bars to watch it. They're constantly talking about it. I hired a bunch of those kids that were in their 20s at Onside Radio. This generation is way more advanced in soccer than we ever were. It's not even close, dude. No. Big O, speaking of stars, saw Frampton last night. Great show, great guitar, great guy. Yeah. I hope he fights off. I think he has Parkinson's, and he didn't think he'd still be touring. And so he's trying to still tour and do what he loves. It's brutal when somebody takes, when what you love is taken away from you. You know what I mean? I trust the FO gets this done while leaving us with the full team. You can't approach this with Jimmy and Dame with any more than 1 year windows. There's no time to empty the bench and No, they're not going to empty the bench. They'll give up a couple guys. They got plenty of guys. They'll be fine. Don't worry about it. No 12-year-old and 10-year-olds trying to keep them interested. We're not talking about 10 or 12s, bro. Those aren't the people that are going to keep soccer alive. It's the teens that are the ones. Those are the ones that have some money, and then they're really watching. The kiddies are just, they're playing soccer. But the teens and the 20s and the 30s, they follow it heavy. Big time. Soccer and UFC are the future. Oscar Quintero is 1,000% right. Young people love soccer, and they love the UFC, man. Oh, man. That is so big for young people. Most teenagers and kids now know who Mbappe and Neymar compared to Mike Trout and Ohtani. Yep, exactly. You are 1,000% right. That's a great line, Ray. Most teenagers now know Mbappe and Neymar more than Mike Trout and Ohtani. Dude, that is 1,000% right. You tell a kid on average, here, I'll give you a Mike Trout shirt or a Neymar shirt, and he's going to take Neymar 9 out of 10. Okay? Yeah, that's a great point right there, Ray. Those kids, the kids that follow baseball are the kids that are sons of seam heads. Those are the only kids, really, on average, that are really following baseball. Sons of seam heads, that their fathers are major baseball guys, so the influence falls on the kid. And by the way, half those kids will lose the love for baseball as they get older because baseball is boring for them eventually. So, yeah, that's actually a very good point. These young kids would rather follow that any day of the week and twice on Sundays. They'd rather have Neymar, Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, for sure. Messi over Trout and Ohtani and all that, for sure, dude. Not even close. It's a shame, but that's just the way it goes. That's where it's actually changed. So we got the Heat beating the Lakers in the Summer League yesterday. The Marlins got back on track. The Cards aren't very good. 5-4, nice 3-run rally in the 7th inning. And Braxton Garrett had a nice outing. Right now, let me give you the latest on what's going on with the Marlins. See if they're still torturing the Cards right now. Says you got 7-0, baby. They are beating the hell out of them. I love it. All right. Sanchez has 3 RBIs and Cooper has 3 RBIs. Reyes is batting .387, 1 of 3 today. And by the way, no Chisholm. So the rib injury. Are we concerned now about Jazz? Is Jazz a little too injury prone? I'm starting to think that now. When I saw that the other night, was it 2 nights ago when he swung and and he didn't, and you're like, hey, yo, what's up with that? So, and there seems to be an injury all the time now with Jazz. He just got back from an injury, dude. That kind of sucks, you know. I hope he's not going to miss a lot of time or anything like that. But so far, he's missed 2 games. He didn't play yesterday, and hasn't played today. I haven't heard anything if they put him on the IR or something like that. Jazz is killing me on fantasy. Well, you got it. Availability is your best trait, dude. He's not available. So let me ask you something. I'm looking at this stuff. Do we really need to see a 10-episode Cowboys special on Netflix? I mean, you know that I'm only going to be watching because the Cowboys are a train wreck. The most overhyped team in the history of all of sports, right? There's been no team that's been more overhyped in all of pro sports over the last 20 years than the Cowboys. Nobody has what's it called, accomplished less considering the hype than the Cowboys. So Netflix has reportedly agreed to a $50 million deal to air this crash test dummies known as Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. Matthew Belloni of Puck reported Netflix won a bidding war with ESPN for the project. Oh, why? ESPN didn't have enough money? Anyway, which consists of 10 episodes. The deal isn't finalized. Amazon and a couple of other networks were also interested in the series. So we got to watch 10 episodes of Jerry Jones talking shit and all the hype, and then watch Dak Prescott choke like a dog at the end. Freaking amazing. Oh, God. Cowboy fans will love it, right? Because they love the hype. They love the hype of Jerry and everything. Too funny. Too freaking funny, bro. Oh, man. 10 episodes of watching Jerry Jones talk shit and the Cowboys getting overhyped. But that's all right, Cowboy fans. You'll get to see Jerry and do his thing and whatever. What can I tell you? Let me see. We got any questions out there? Yeah, it looks like Netflix is serious. It's all about the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. Well, you know, now that makes the episode really good. Did you see the juvenile episode of NPR Tiny Desk? Fantastic performance. No, I have not. I'll go check it out. Tiny Desk is pretty cool. The Knicks and Cowboys get an ungodly amount of attention. Yes. Yeah, and the Knicks are really, like, mediocre. Like, they're terrible. At least the Cowboys make the playoffs once in a while. I used to like the Cowboys before Jerry Jones bought the team. I hate them as much as the Patriots and Jets now. I just hate the fact that the Cowboys constantly get overhyped. That's what I hate. Because it's just a team of hot air, bro. And Jerry's a freaking clown. He's the reason why they haven't gotten over the top. I'm almost 37 and watch a lot of international soccer. Yeah, I'm not surprised. People in their 30s and their 20s and the teens, they love international soccer, man. That's something that's just, you know, it's automatic pretty much with young people. It's what's changed completely from my younger generation where very few people were in international soccer. Plus, it was harder to watch, too. A lot harder. I remember when I was younger, I used to watch the Serie A. I used to watch it on Dish Network. So if you didn't have Dish Network, there was no other way of watching it. You know, and then before that, I had a C-band satellite. So then the C-band, which is a big-ass satellite that you would move, I had access to all leagues. And so you would have to try to find them and all that. But regular television didn't carry it. You weren't going to watch the Manchester U match this week, or Barcelona's, or whatever. No, sorry, you're not going to catch Liverpool. That's not the way it goes. Now, a whole bunch of you're getting together on Saturday morning, going to go watch Liverpool somewhere. If you don't watch it at your homes and you're all I see it on social media going back and forth and talking about the matches, or you're at American Social down in Brickell. Some of these great soccer bars that we have here in South Florida. I know all about all that shit. And there's a lot of people, man. That's the kind of stuff that didn't happen 20, 30 years ago. You don't have people packing bars in the morning to go see international soccer. Why don't you go to Hollywood? Go to what's the name of that Irish bar in Hollywood? Go see on Saturday mornings when there's international soccer matches. Go check out that bar. Come on, man. It's huge. It's huge. It has grown like we all thought it would when we were telling everybody, hey, 20 years ago, it's on its way. Oh, will you take Simmons on the Heat? No, I wouldn't. He does not fit anything here. He can't play here. He's too soft to be part of the Heat. There's no way. He plays with a skirt, bro. So he's not even tough enough to play in the WNBA. They don't play with skirts there. So no, I don't think that they would accept that. The Jurkic one, that makes sense. That, in this whole thing, well, if you want him, this, that, you got to, and then I don't know if Mickey wants to pay a little more tax because he's going to have to pay more tax or whatever. But I can see because of the size, although they've added several big guys now at this point. But the Ben Simmons one, no, I don't. It's got to go somewhere where they have cap space, and then they can, get the picks for taking it on, and then somehow get out of that contract or just I don't know. I you know what? I'm not even smart enough to know what is left on the Simmons deal. Let me see something, because that's the other thing that I don't know. Because there can't be that many years left, right? Because it's already been a few years since he signed that deal. And so maybe they can break it down over the life of the contract or something. Let me see. Yeah, 23, 24. He only has 2 years left. So you have to take on 37.8 and then 40 million. So it could be a team that also could then defer it over several years if they want to do it that way, or keep them for a year. And then in the final year, you could then trade him halfway through the season as an expiring contract, or in that final year, you just let him go and break it out over several years and lower down the payments. But you got your picks in the process. I didn't figure there would be a lot of years left. So there's only 2 years left on the guy. When he has made a lot of money for doing nothing, bro. Him and Zion Williamson, that lazy fat ass turd. Wow, that is amazing, dude. That's the one thing about these sports with the guaranteed money that drives you crazy. Bo Campers gets packed for the Clásico. Of course it does. Of course. What do I think of all the U.S. men's moving to Serie A? All the U.S. men's national teams moving to Serie A will help them be a much more defensive-oriented league. What it does is it makes them better as players. But Leon, in the end, what's terrible is our entire U.S. soccer system. We still haven't figured it out, bro. We have all this talent. We have all the resources, as good or better resources than the world, and we can't figure out how to build a world-class team, which we should be world-class with the talent we have. It drives me crazy. Would rather take Richard Simmons than Ben Simmons. At least Richard is perky and has a positive attitude. He could also relate to Hero when it comes to bad clothing. That's Karoon. That's a good one. I like that. They do both dress bad. Dude, Ben Simmons is the opposite of Heat culture. We don't need that bum diva. Boy, you know what, man of 1,005 holds? Spo does make everybody look good, but man, if he can turn Ben Simmons around, wow. You know what? Let's put it this way. If the Miami Heat trade for Ben Simmons, okay, because they got to take him in, whatever, all that stuff, and Spo makes him a player, okay, Spo doesn't get into the Hall of Fame. No. There's a new Hall of Fame built on top of the Hall of Fame, and the only one inducted into that position is Eric Spoelstra. Because if Eric Spoelstra can make Ben Simmons a player, then he is the greatest coach in the history of the NBA. Not Auerbach, not Riley, not Jackson, not anyone comes close to Eric Spoelstra. Put it that way. We will build a new Hall of Fame, and it's called the Eric Spoelstra Ultimate Stud Basketball Hall of Fame, and there's one guy in it, and it's Eric Spoelstra. That's it. You walk into that building, and it's Eric here, it's Eric there, it's Eric winning here, it's Eric winning there. It's everything about Eric. It's all Eric all the time. Because if he can make Ben Simmons a player again, then, brother, I don't know. What else is there? He could probably, if he makes Ben Simmons a player, he can reverse all the damage we've done to our Earth in global warming. I'm telling you, he could, if he could make Ben Simmons a player, he could make volcanoes reverse and take back all their lava. Yeah. There's no doubt about it in my mind. If he can make Ben Simmons a player, he could probably fix our border. Just put Eric Spoelstra at the border. Nobody will pass. That's it. We don't need an army. We don't need it. Just put Eric Spoelstra at the border. That's all. Pandemic's going on. Send Eric Spoelstra. Ends the damn pandemic. Goes to Wuhan. Eliminates it all. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Telling you. If Eric Spoelstra can turn Ben Simmons into a player, oh baby. Man, that's I don't know. He probably cures cancer next. In fact, I got to go hit up Eric for the numbers for the lottery. Telling you, you make Ben Simmons a player, and you deserve anything and everything that comes your way because you are God. God and a half. Nets think Simmons has value. That alone keeps him in Brooklyn. Nah, I don't think so, bro. I don't think they think Simmons has any value. That's not true, Ryan. Nobody knows. We all know Ben Simmons doesn't have any value. The one thing Ben Simmons has is that he's an excellent defender. Can tell him just shut down the other team's top scorer and leave Bam to protect the rim. Brother, I just wouldn't trust Ben Simmons at all. But I will say the one thing I can't argue, if there's one guy that could fix him, if there's one team that could possibly fix Ben Simmons, it's the Miami Heat. That I will say. I'm not saying that you could fix Ben Simmons because I think Ben Simmons looks to me like, forget about it. It's forget it. He's a lost cause, I think, in my eyes. But I can't argue with some of the reasoning that you guys put on the chat board there. The one team, if he's ever going to show any signs of life, it would be the Heat. It would be the Heat. That's the only place he could get resurrected. I don't think it'll happen, but this is the only place that the miracle could happen. Yes. That I can't argue with you guys on that because it's happened to so many other players. And they've done it with a whole bunch of other guys that have come in pretty bad shape too. In my opinion, I think this is Ben Simmons' last contract over. Oh, you think? The most underrated pickup this year to me is Josh Richardson. You know, Thomas Bryant is also one. I don't think Thomas Bryant is needed badly on this team. The rebounding, the defense, and I did not know he shot 36.8% from the field in three-point range, which I think Miami will get him up to like 38. Thomas Bryant, I think, is a terrific signing. I do like the Josh Richardson signing, but notice the idea. They're getting guys that can play some defense. They've had too many guys that can't play defense. And that's the one thing that's kind of hurt them. And still, the magician gets you to the finals, which, again, Spo's the best, bro. Spo's the best. The best coach in the league. God, that guy's good. He's so good. He's part of the reason Jimmy left Philly. Well, no, not really. They decided to give the money to Tobias. That's what it was. Jimmy left because the decision was Jimmy or Tobias. They went with the younger guy. That was stupid. They should have gone with the winner, the leader, the heart and soul that would have been of your team. Not Embiid. It would have been him. Embiid would be your best player, but Jimmy would have been the straw that serves the drink and get everything going. You know, Embiid would be your top player. Just like Damian Lillard will be your top player, but Jimmy will be the guy that, you know, kind of controls everything. You know, he's the face of the franchise, you know, but Dame will be the guy to score. And Jimmy will have no problem with that. God, it's such a great pairing. And Bam complements both those guys so perfectly. Really like it. I just think it's going to be awesome. Who do you think is worth, Kaepernick or Simmons? Well, they're both cowards. That's the thing about Kaepernick. Kaepernick is one of the biggest cowards I've ever seen in my life. You know, he hides behind the facade of the whole, you know, push for inequality and all that. And we know it happens. But his punk ass was never front and center for any of this. Everybody else is protesting. He's nowhere to be found. And then when it came to, I want to play football, well, why didn't you go to the CFL, bro? You're not better than Warren Moon. He's in the Hall of Fame. Warren Moon's one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen in my life. The NFL told him he wasn't good enough. And what, you're better than him, that he went to the CFL to prove people wrong? Like Jeff Garcia, like Cam Wake? Lots of players have done it. Had to go to the CFL. So why didn't you go to the CFL, dude? Well, you're above it? No, you're not. You're just a coward. You got your Nike money. So at least Simmons is still trying to play basketball. No bigger coward I've ever seen in my life than Colin Kaepernick. None. In sports, no bigger coward than Colin Kaepernick. No bigger phony than Colin Kaepernick. You know, and what I love is that people say, well, he writes some checks for some organizations. That's great. That's a nice write-off for him at the end of the year from his Nike money. Good. Was he front and center for any of the protests? Was he at any police stations when there was abuse and all that kind of stuff? Was he front and center for George Floyd and all that? I saw, what's the name of the guy that played for Indiana in the NBA? What's his name? He was there front and center all the time, fighting for George Floyd. Where was Kaepernick? Where is he ever? That coward allows everybody to fight his battle. Everybody else is kneeling. Everybody else is getting in trouble. Everybody else taking heat. Where was he? Anybody did he fight for his career? No. He just gave up like a coward. Like cowards do. Cowards give up. That's what he did. He got fired from the NFL and gave up like a coward. He has options. Warren Moon did it. Lots of others did it. You go to the CFL, you star, and brother, if you're a quarterback, they're going to want you right back, no matter what, because they got to win. But did he do it? No, because he was afraid to fail again in the CFL and then prove that he was wrong and that he couldn't play it and that he just had his moments in the NFL and it was over. That's it. And he was part of a monster team that he was able to have some moments, just like Nick Foles had some moments. Doesn't make him a good quarterback. Trent Dilfer had some moments with a monster team. Doesn't make him a good quarterback. But he had a chance to prove to people that he was a real quarterback. But what he proved, well, the only thing Colin Kaepernick has ever proven is that he's a coward. That he cowers to every challenge. Social, coward. Professional, coward. He runs and hides. Like some stupid workout is going to get you a chance. No, dude, go compete. And now it's too late. So there is no bigger coward in all of pro sports than Colin Kaepernick. Okay? Total coward. Phony. Sad part is, too many in his community got suckered by his ass and use him as some kind of, beacon or some shit like that. Kaepernick isn't a coward. Yeah, he's a coward, dude. Of course he's a coward, Raging. You fight for what you love, bro. You fight for what you love. If you really want to be a football player, then you fight for it, dude. And you get back. Like the examples I gave you, like Bernard King, who blew out an knee in a time when knees aren't repaired. And he found a way to come back to have one hell of a season. Couldn't have a really long career after that because his knee was mincemeat. But what he did to come back and play that way was one of the most admirable things I've ever seen in my entire life as a sports fan. Brother, when you want something, you fight for it. Colin Kaepernick never fought for football ever again. Holding some sorry-ass workout is not fighting for it, dude. Fighting for it is what Taylor Heineke had to do. Go back to the XFL to then make it back to the NFL. That's what I admire, dude. Ricky Williams got suspended. Okay, did he give up? No, he went to the Toronto Argonauts. Then he came back to the NFL. I admire the shit out of that. You made your mistake, whatever it was, as stupid as it was because it was weed, but whatever. But at least he didn't give up like a coward. So I disagree with you, dude. Rick Allen from Def Leppard lost his fucking arm. He lost his fucking arm. And he said, no, I'm going to be a drummer. And he's a drummer to this day with Def Leppard. And everybody's going, Rick Allen lost his arm. How the hell's he going to play? You fight for what you love. You fight for what you believe in. Colin Kaepernick has never fought for anything. He hid behind the scenes like a fucking coward, and all he's ever done is sign a couple of checks. He never fought for his career. He never fought for actually the injustice that goes on. He's never front and center for any of the protests. Jane Fonda is front and center getting arrested for nuclear protests. Malcolm X is front and center. It cost Mr. King his life being front and center. When you fight for something, when you believe in something, you fight for it. Okay? So I completely disagree with you. I couldn't disagree with you more. Colin Kaepernick is a coward. Okay? Joe Theismann, or Theismann was his name because they changed it to Theismann so it can rhyme with Heisman when he was in Notre Dame. The NFL told him, you're no good. You got to go to the CFL. And then he proved he was good enough, came back to Washington, and won a Super Bowl. You fight. That's what people do who actually have heart and character. Not for nothing, but when I got fired from QAM, I could have easily folded the tent and say, well, I've been a radio guy for 31 years and it's over. That's it. I'm done. Never do it again. Well, wait a minute. No, I love this. I know I can make this work. I know I have great sponsors. I know that there are listeners out there that will support me. Well, guess what? We're up to about 34 million downloads since we started this. We got a bunch of sponsors. We travel more than the stations that are local. It's called fighting. Because I refuse to give up. So those of us that have character, those of us that have mental toughness, we fight for what we believe in. We don't hang out behind the scenes and give up because Nike gave us a check and now we don't have to work anymore. You know? He's like a bunch of you out there that for the last several years from Trump and Biden just taking those handouts and staying home and not working. Same shit. That's the way I look at it. Colin Kaepernick should have gone to the CFL. Look at ex-Dolphins like Ricky Williams, Cam Wake, and others. Exactly. Nano Filmmaker, thank you for the love on the super chat, bro. Hello from Istanbul, Turkey. You're international, bro. Thank you, Nano. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Stay away from the heroin. Leon Fresco, thank you for the love on the super chat. Says, you reminded me of something. I just dislocated my shoulder. I must say that what Mike Gesicki did playing the next week is truly shocking and catching with one hand. And now you need to tell Omar that, who completely downplayed that. And I lost my fucking mind when he did that. Like, how are you going to downplay? Like, he's like, not tough. I'm like, he's not tough. He dislocated his shoulder and went played and caught with what are you talking about? He's not tough. Why? Because he can't block like Kittle? Okay, that doesn't mean he's not tough. God, Omar. PJ Walker and Taylor Henneke all had to fight their way back to the NFL. Thank you, sir. Castro, yeah, Kaepernick messed up badly when he made the Castro. Of course, you can't talk about the injustice of one group and then you're wearing a Castro shirt. That's another thing about Colin Kaepernick. He's also incredibly stupid. He lacks total education. You're going to talk about the mishandling and the injustice that goes on with the black community, which we all know, but you're going to wear a Castro shirt? What? Like, bro, do you know what happens like 90 miles from the Straits of the Keys? Do you know what that guy was doing there for decades? Like, you're wearing that shirt? Oh, no, but it has Malcolm X. Who gives a shit? Wear a Malcolm X shirt. Don't wear one with Malcolm X and Fidel on it. That's when you're stupid and ignorant and you have no education and you're trying to talk about social issues. But when you lack education, you can't talk about social issues, because if you're too stupid to wear a Castro shirt, you're all of a sudden going against everything you say you stand for. I'm for the injustice of black people, but I'm all right that they've killed hundreds and thousands of Cubans in that island with this guy on my shirt. Yeah, I'm good with that. We know why? Because Colin Kaepernick had no idea that was Fidel. He had no idea. I guarantee you his stupid ass had no idea that was Fidel. And if he knew it was Fidel, then, then he just deserves a beatdown. San Fran and Denver fought over trade compensation for Kaepernick leading up to the day he began kneeling. I believe he was trying to force his way out, and it backfired on him. Either way, force your way out. So what? I forced my way out of QAM. Get up, stand up for your rights. So after Nike gave him the money, he stopped working out for teams. And yeah, no, he came up. No, he had a workout a couple years ago. He wants to do another one, and whatever. those are farce. That's all for PR. And the media and the fans fall for this crap. Big O, any chance Inter Miami makes it to the playoffs? I don't think so. Unless they win every single game that Messi plays. They're going to have to go on such a ride that is crazy. Look at De'Aaron King. He went undrafted and signed with the Patriots, then got released, got his ass kicked in the XFL, and is still fighting his way back to the NFL. That's right, because you fight for your dream. I don't care if you're a plumber. I don't care if you're a rock musician. I don't care if you're an athlete. I don't care if you're a teacher. I don't care what you are. It doesn't matter to me what you are. The passion we all have for whatever it is we do and we're good at. You might be a hell of a bartender. God bless you, dude or ma'am out there. And that's what you love to do. You love to put on a show. You love to serve people, interact. You're good at it. You know, that's a talent. That's a skill. Maybe you love to act. Maybe you love to sell cars. Maybe you love to sell insurance. We all develop passions for things that we're good at, that we feel we're helping people, we're helping ourselves, our family. And if we love it so much, and I don't care what it is, we fight to do it. That's what it's all about. And if you want to be a teacher where you want to teach music, well, then you will excel at it. And you will have the passion and you will build a hell of a what's it called? The business, because your reputation will carry you. Because your passion carries you. Passion carries all of us. Go look at Cutter's Edge Pro, which is the board that we have here. The work that Will and Mike do all the time, that shit is passion, dude. That's not about money. Of course they're all making money. Of course they all want to make a living. Everybody that's working there, everybody that's running the place. But when they walk onto your property, whether it's a business, whether it's your home, I know because I saw it firsthand. They freaking do it with a passion. They start looking at your yard and then they tell you, okay, this, that, and they start getting these designs. And before they did my yard, they gave me like 5-6 different designs that they were looking at and all that. And it's just not a half-ass approach to things. That's why their company is so damn good. That's why they're all over the damn place. That's why you see the trucks everywhere throughout South Florida, because they have a passion that is second to none for this. Perdomo Cigars, the same thing. Nick Perdomo started this in his garage. You smoke a 10th anniversary, you smoke a 20th anniversary, you saw a sun-grown, a Maduro, and it is built perfect. From beginning to end, it is constructed perfect. The pull on the cigar is beautiful from beginning to end. The flavor is full from beginning to end. That shit starts with passion, dude. It was a passion that Nick Perdomo had, that he wanted to become a cigar maker and be one of the best cigars in the world. And that's what he is. Sloman's behind me. They've been at this shit for 100 years. Oil, alarm systems, you name it. You don't do this shit if you don't believe in it, if you're not good at it. Everything, it takes your heart and soul to put into it. Restaurants come and go because when they go, it's because they didn't have the passion that it takes. And they were probably trying to just make money. But the true restaurants that last the time, the ones you go to year in and year out, month in, month out, they run it with passion, because that's what it takes to have a great restaurant. You have to care from beginning to end, because at any point it can go awry on you and you'll lose your customer base. You all know it. You've been to restaurants that started off well, and then you said, oh, dude, they lost it here. They changed the chefs. They did something. They changed ownerships, all that kind of stuff. It happens. That's what this is all about in life a lot of times. The people that excel at what they do, it's because they love it also. It's not just because they're doing it just for money, man. I just wish people would, be a little bit more realistic about some of this kind of stuff. All right. Anyway, ESPN has the Dolphins 5th as the most talented roster in the NFL. That's all right. I got them winning the Super Bowl. Big O motivating us with this 4th of July. Thanks. Good show. Appreciate you. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. Big O, you are one of the hardest working men I know on the planet. Thank you. I appreciate that. Very nice. Very nice. By the way, why do people, and this has been going on with this guy for years, and I don't understand it. I know he does things with bravado, and maybe too much sometimes, and maybe that might turn some people off. But Deion Sanders he's been a good dude his whole life. He's been a winner. Florida State, San Francisco, Dallas, you name it. He goes to Jackson State. He elevates that program, gives them an avenue to and a playbook to then follow after he leaves to maybe try to keep some of the things going. It's going to be hard without Deion, all that. But the hate he is getting in Colorado, sometimes I just think people are jealous that Deion can make things happen, maybe easier than most, because he is magnetic, because he has a great personality, because he can connect with people, because a lot of times he's just brutally honest. Maybe some people can't handle it. You know what I mean? And what he did at Jackson State was so commendable. And what he's done for his coaches in getting them now to Colorado. And so Athlon Sports had a coach who went unnamed, but it says it feels like a lose-lose for Colorado with Prime. Either he's going to be really good, really fast, and leave for another gig, which looking at that roster doesn't seem possible. The alternative is that he's going to be bad, and they'll end up firing him in a big circus, the guy told Athlon Sports. Jackson State was so good because they could get FBS-level guys and beat up on FCS rosters. That won't happen here. They're not a good roster right now. How does he handle losing big? We haven't seen that. So his son comes on and says they pray that we don't do well because they fear us. And I'm not even talking about fear of us on the field. It's a threat to the social norms and the infrastructure of college football, Sanders Jr. said. He's 1,000% right. And this is all comes from pure jealousy that he's put the Colorado program already on the map, and he hasn't even played a game. That's success already for Deion. The fact that people are already wanting him to fail, that's success already for Deion, by the way. He should feed off of all this, which he will, by the way, because that's what great players and great athletes and great coaches will do. They will feed off of this. I don't know how this is going to end, but I tell you what, I'm super excited for Deion Sanders. And by the way, I'm happy for the Colorado Buffalo program because they've been down in the dumps forever. And they needed a jolt, and they got it. But why would you want Deion to fail? Deion's good for college football. He brings attention to college football. And I guess some coaches are going to be jealous because there's going to be a lot of kids that are going to want to play for him. Now, do we know he's a great college coach? No, we don't know that yet. He has to prove that. We all know that. Okay, that's to be determined. That's fine. But there's zero wrong with what he's doing. Why? Because he's getting NIL money? Why? Because he's getting attention? Why? Because he's getting players to transfer there? And then I love the quote of, well, which I look at, that roster doesn't seem possible right now, to win. He just got there. Okay, so this is a program that's been losing forever. The guy gets there, and he's supposed to already win in the first year? He's just starting to turn over the roster. Like, it shows the hate. It shows the bias. Also, let's be honest, for Deion right there. You're already wanting him to fail when anybody knows that if we're talking about starting a program over, you got to give the guy a couple of years. What have I said about Mario? I'm waiting for the years 3 and 4 to start judging really Mario. He had a shit year last year, the worst year I've ever seen. And I'm not expecting much of an improvement this year from Mario. Why? And I don't care how many 4 or 5 stars he signed or whatever. He's got to turn over the roster. He's got to get them learning the system. This is all going to take some time. So if I'm going to give Mario 3-4 years, am I supposed to judge Deion Sanders already? No. I got to give Deion Sanders some time to turn this around, especially for a program just like Miami that's been shit for years. They don't know how to win. They aren't winners. They're losers. The University of Miami and Colorado lately, they're just a bunch of losers. They don't know how to win. So Deion has to teach them how to win. You don't do that in one off season. Mario has to teach them how to win. You don't do that in one season. It's going to take you 3 or 4 that's when I'm going to start to measure Mario. Years 3 and 4 is when I need to see some serious progress from Mario Cristobal. And I'm going to say the same thing about Deion Sanders. I don't expect him to turn it around this year, but this is the same BS. Not to get too political, okay? All right, but it reminds me a little bit of, a buddy of mine that I was, having some fun with him, talking politics, all this, and he started just slamming on Kamala Harris, right? And this, that, vice president, and I go, dude, I've known you for years. Why didn't you ever talk about any of the other vice presidents? Oh, that's right, because nobody ever talks about vice presidents. But Kamala, you do, right? Because she's a woman in black, right? Is that what it is, bro? Because nobody ever cares about the vice president. Nobody. And he, right there. Because nobody ever talks about vice presidents. Nobody gives a shit about the vice president. Anyway. Davis carted off the field. What the hell is that? What are we talking about? What is that? What are you doing to me here, Green Line? What are we talking about? Davis. We don't have a Marlon Davis, right? Is that in the Marlins game or something? I almost don't want to trade Hero, Jovic, Yaquez Jr. Hero at point guard, going to be a lot of fun, but second place in finals is not the standard for Pat. I agree. I'm not with you on that. I don't care about Hero. I'll trade him easily. I have no problem with Hero. Too injury prone. Big O, I have to be honest with Deion Sanders. With you, Deion Sanders will do good at Colorado as long as the players buy in. Am I wrong? I don't know yet. I don't know. I know he's going to get players. I don't know yet if he's a great college football coach yet. That's the part I don't know, but I'm willing to give him a chance and wait. I love what he's done so far, but I don't know that yet. I don't know. I have no idea. I have to see him do it. And then say, okay, but I'm pretty excited. I'm very excited for him because he has all the other things that you want from a coach, and it looks like guys want to play for him. But let's give him some time. I mean, let's be fair to some of these people. They deserve it. Mario, let's be, I saw a guy, I ran into a guy on YouTube, and I don't know even why I did this, but I clicked in. And I don't know the guy's name. It's some Canes thing. And he's complaining about recruiting and not getting enough this or that. And I'm like sitting there going, the guy just got here, bro. He's only been here a year. He's not you've got there's a catch-22 here that people don't understand. Okay. Mario can come in with a lot of hype and he can have Ruiz spending all kinds of money and all that kind of stuff. But in the end, you're not going to get all the 4- and 5-star players you want. You're going to lose a lot of them still to Ohio State and to Alabama. And why are you going to lose those players to certain schools? Because they're already winning. So Miami has to kind of In this process, he's not going to get everything he needs, but he has to make the program better overall. And he's going to have to get 3 stars, make them 4 stars, and 4 stars, make them 5 stars, like they used to do back in the day. And then get to the point where you're winning the big games and beating Clemson and winning the ACC, and then automatically they start coming and they start piling on because they're fair-weathered. Their parents are fair-weathered. The kids are fair-weathered. They want to make sure you can get them to the NFL, and they want to make sure you can win. And so far, those 2 things, those 2 bridges have not been crossed over yet completely by Mario Cristobal. And that's the part that you can't have one with the other. You just don't get there, and then everybody starts committing to you. It's not going to happen. And so I'm hearing this clown, and he's like, because it's a fan. And you're over emotion. Oh, they're losing on this guy, losing on this guy. And I'm like, of course they're going to lose out. They're not winning yet. They sucked last year. The Canes were an embarrassment last year under Mario Cristobal. I love Mario. I'm rooting for Mario. I think he's going to turn the program around, but I know it's going to take some time. But I'm also not going to bullshit you. It was a terrible year last year. It was the worst year I've ever seen for the Canes. But I'm not going to give up on Mario. But I also know that he has to then win, because part of you convincing to get those 4 and 5 stars to just commit over and over again, you got to have those 2 things. And when you cross that bridge, that's when you become scary. So hopefully in the next year or 2, he starts to cross that bridge, and that's when you start to get scary. And by the way, the Buffalo's the same thing for Deion Sanders. If he starts to win and getting people to the NFL, then it'll get scary. But we got to have some patience here, dude. We got to give Mario Cristobal some time. Complaining about Mario Cristobal that he's not doing a good enough job is ridiculous at this point. Jesus. It's just that we're not realistic at times. Deion Sanders is just polarizing, like you said. It's his bravado. Other players said that he was actually really quiet on the field, no trash talking, just did his job and shut down wide receivers. Deion has succeeded everywhere in anything that he's done. I want to see him succeed doing this, but I want to give him a chance first. That quote that I saw from Athlon Sports, that's just a jealous coach that is probably having a hard time doing some of the things that Deion is probably cruising with at this point in time. So all I read in that quote was a jealous coach. That's what I read in that quote. If we don't trade our young guys, we should be able to actually go more than 7 deep this year. Let's see. Saw Mario at the Epiphany Church on Sunday at 8 a.m. My school, Jay, went to Saturday in the back. Okay. Hero and Robinson can both go as long as we're able to keep Caleb and Jaquez Jr. Big O, if Halle Berry was a vice president, I would talk about her all day. I'd make her president. I'd kidnap Biden and hide him. I don't think anybody would miss Biden, right? I don't even think Jill would miss Joe. I think I'd be doing everybody a favor if we make Biden disappear. And plus, we'd all be happy with Halle Berry as president. That's good. Georgia, can't forget about them. They are the defending 2-time national champion. Yeah, Georgia's right. Exactly. That's what I mean. It doesn't matter, whatever, Georgia, Alabama, whatever. You're going to lose to all those teams right now because they've got it going on. Well, Biden is probably taking a nap, Bromar, because he fell and hit his head and got knocked out or something. That's probably what it is. The fact that they allow that fool on a bike is really amazing. I think that's just Jill, like, trying to sabotage him, get rid of him. Anyway, oh, man. I don't know what else. I think we are. What's going on with the Marlins, by the way? I only said I was going to do an hour today. So I told my wife, I'm only going to talk like an hour. That's it. I'm not going to do that much. Oh, where we get? Well, what is going on here? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. 1 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 Where are we? What is the score? What's going on with the Marlins? Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. Like the hell out of the show. Brother, it is 11-0. It is so fun to beat up on the bad teams. That's how you boost that record up, man. Soler, 3 of 4, 3 runs scored, 2 RBIs. Sanchez has 4 RBIs in the game, 3 of 5. Cooper is 3 of 4 with 3 RBIs. That is some good stuff, dude. How about that? Lusardo headed for a win, 6 innings, 5 hits, 0 earned runs, 8 Ks, lower his ERA to 3.32. Yeah, and Adam Wainwright allowed 4 earned runs in 3 1/3, and he's got a beautiful ERA of 7.66. There you go. Let's see. Making a senile old man ride a bike is kind of, it is. It's ridiculous. It's serious. Come on, dude. Come on, bro. It's like the guy can't walk. You're going to make him ride a bike. It's like, what are you guys trying to prove? Can barely put a sentence together and can barely walk. Let's see. We are in a sad state when the leader of the free world is senile. Yeah, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do, bro? You think about the last 4 we've had. Bush Jr., Obama, Trump, and Biden. The worst 4 we've ever had. Fiscally, the damage they've all done to our economy and our dollar and our deficit is ridiculous. It's the worst 4-run president we've ever had. I don't think we've ever seen a worse 4 presidents, and each one was worse than the other fiscally. It's disgusting. I don't care about you clowns out there that are Democrats or Republicans. I don't give a shit about either party. If you tune in enough, I can't stand either party. I'm about Americans, okay? I'm not about Democrats or Republicans. Don't care about those useless parties. All they do is play culture and sex wars against and just keep you guys busy with all the stupid shit while they're destroying everything financially. And it doesn't matter which one of those idiots you put in office. Okay? So whatever. You guys want to get insulted by it, it's your problem. But I equally dislike both sides. All right? So the worst stretch we've ever seen. And each one is worse than the other. Okay? So what can I tell you? All I can tell you, and on the Democrat side, they won't even open it up. How sad is that? So we can maybe there's another candidate that we might like. Vivek Ramaswamy. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going this year. This time around, I'm going to have to go Vivek. I don't see anybody better. Salma Hayek is now. Salma Hayek wants to run. Brother, I'm there. I want to be her campaign manager. I want to defend her. Did you see those pictures? Go check out her IG. She's on this beautiful sailboat. She's 56, dude. And she's in this bikini in the sailboat, and you're like, wow, like, holy shit, she's got abs and it's still and all that at 56, and you're like, damn, Salma. Salma and Hallie are like freaks, bro. Freaks. Those are freaks, man. Absolute freaks. Trade Jazz Chisholm, small, arrogant, injury-prone before he loses value. Salma and Hallie, that sounds like a dream. Yeah, that is a dream. Big O, your thoughts on all ESPN layoffs? It's a shitty business, Devin. Remember, I told you guys about this 2 weeks ago. Disney and ABC has cut ties with ESPN. They set them off on their own island. So now they only can live off of their own revenue. So they can't go to Daddy's ABC and Disney's, what's it called, bank account. So they have to be able to sustain themselves. So now they have their own budgets. They look around, they go, oh shit, we can't carry all these salaries anymore. So now they're cutting a whole bunch of people, And, they won't have the same kind of, and because rights fees have gone up too, they're going to have trouble also retaining rights fees for leagues too down the line. So you're going to see some drastic cutbacks now from ESPN. It's a shitty business. It just is. It's a terrible business. Sports, I would never tell any of your kids to get into our business. It's just really, really bad. So, and look, radio's the worst. Out of all the electronic mediums, radio has completely died. Why? Because nobody listens to traditional radio that much anymore, or traditional television. You all go to apps and things like this. That's what you're doing right now. That's where we've gone. We go to Netflix and Hulu, and we go to iTunes and Spotify and Stitcher and Google Play, and that's what we do. That's what our lives are, on demand. The only thing you watch live is maybe a sporting event. That's it. Everything else has been already recorded for you. Or you go to YouTube television or regular YouTube. I watch a lot of regular YouTube. That's just kind of the way our world is now. It's on demand. A lot of people won't watch the show live. They'll watch it after. They'll listen to it after. And by the way, thank you all out there for downloading the show and listening to it whenever you do. Please smash the hell out of the like button and subscribe. It's very important you subscribe and help us build the audience. But yeah, it's a bad business, Devin. I feel terrible for a lot of the people that lost their jobs, and they probably didn't deserve it. But, it is what it is. What are you going to do? We all have to deal with our own, monsters. Why did Disney and ABC do that to ESPN? Because money, bro. Money's too tight to mention. As what was the name of that Red something or whatever? Money's too tight to mention. Yeah. That's it. They got to balance things out. Things have changed. Disney's lost money. They're not making the same kind of money. ABC's had its cutbacks. Remember, platforms. So all ABC now, they've got local TV channels all over the place and buildings and all that kind of stuff. And our world is changing. So there's a lot of overhead that they're paying for that they don't need nearly as much anymore. Office buildings are, you're seeing businesses now kind of trim back after the pandemic because they realize that they don't need as much office space. I think office space in general in this country is available like 19% or something like that. It's the biggest vacancies we've ever had. Things have changed. And so overhead, you're going to see a lot of real estate problems coming up because there's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to be able to pay their mortgages and their real estate and the buildings and all that kind of stuff. And they're going to foreclose. And boy, there's going to be a lot of properties available over the next couple of years. We're going to go into some real tough times on the real estate side coming. And you're going to see a lot of these office buildings are going to be converted into condominiums. You're watching shopping malls now. They are being converted into more entertainment centers. So you're going to see different kinds of things in malls nowadays, not just shops, because online shopping has killed malls. We're in a transition phase for a lot of things. A lot of things are transitioning. And the pandemic kind of fast forwarded a lot of that stuff. Just like crypto and Web3 and blockchain, that's going to change the way we go about living our lives and paying our bills and searching for whatever, cars, food, whatever. You're going to be on the blockchain. And for you gamers, you're going to be on Web3 and all that. All this stuff there's a transition going on several things, on several layers in our world. And in broadcasting, that has changed because of platforms. And that has changed the world of ABC. And Disney, by the way, apparently had a lot of people back out of their subscriptions. Because during the pandemic, you had a lot of people get in because they were at home. And then now people went back to work and got out. And so now they're not signed up to a lot of this stuff. And they got away from it. So, yeah. I used to listen to 790 The Ticket. What happened to that radio station? Don't they have a bunch of like Spanish bullshit on there? Like they sold it to something, some crazy ass Spanish crap. I tuned in a couple times. It's just whack ass crap that they're talking. Malls are changing. Radios and TVs are changing. Newspapers are changing. I miss the old world. Yep. It's all a new phase coming in certain things. That's why I stopped watching ESPN Live. They stopped just telling us what happened and started inserting their own agendas and storylines. That's right. Fast forward. You and I are the same. I just watch it recorded, and then I fast forward through the bullshit. And here's the game highlights. All right, let me watch that game. All right, let me watch that game. Let me watch that game. And then some stupid feature. Boom. Forward right through that stupid feature. Yeah. I'm like you. They're still building the largest mall in America right off of I-75. Boy, that is going to be a major mistake. Let's see. 790 The Ticket turned into some hardcore conservative. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of crazy talk. Bunch of idiots. Anyway, we are out of here, folks. We gave you a little something here for July 4th. I appreciate you all out there. Enjoy yourselves. Please do not do any kind of Jason Pierre-Paul stuff. Keep all 10 fingers to yourselves. If you're going to light some fireworks, please be careful. Remember one thing that always helped me when I was lighting fireworks, from a kid all the way to an adult. Light, run. Run. Okay? Move away. Once you light, move away. Don't hold on to the Roman candles. Don't hang on to the M80 saying, hey, I'm going to wait till the last second. No. Light and get the hell out. Okay? As traffic would say, light me up and leave me alone. Right? Or light me up or leave me alone. Something like that. Well, light it up and leave it alone. Get the hell out of the way. Keep your fingers. We need them so you can hit the like button, so you can subscribe. And by the way, you can also send a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.